Let's see. Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Join the party. Do that. There we go. Now my voice won't come through on stream. There we go. Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Supreme Formula Racing SFR Season 7, Round 2 here in Austria. My name is SFR Russell, and I made a very, very late executive move to retire from the track for this race and make the long run from the grid up to the comms box to provide you all with tonight's entertainment. Yes, hi, I am here on my own, running solo. Big thanks to SFR Jinx for doing the same last week in Monaco. For those who didn't watch last week's stream in Monaco, go watch it. It was a good one. Won by this man right here, who is currently sat in his pit box, Mr. Constant Ryan. So let's get everything up on track. There we go. So Finn's first car to set a lap time. It was a 106.238 from young Finn, from the young Kiwi. We're going to let a few of these cars just set laps quickly, and then we'll try and work out who is going to be where. James is on a hot lap. He's coming around turn 3 now, so we'll jump on with James. I think he is the furthest car ahead on a lap at the moment in the Alfa Romeo, teaming up with his good friend and team principal, Demonic Angel, who is also on a hot lap himself. We'll see how James handles these cars. I was very briefly in another party with SFR Leclerc and some other drivers as James goes for a little excursion out of turn 7 and has a little, no, turn 8. So out of 7 into 8, has a little excursion and fortunately hits the wall. It's less than ideal for James. We have got full quali in, so Demonic Angel goes P2 with a 106.541. 106.2 is currently the time to beat from young Finns. There's got a yellow flag in sector 3, and that's someone sat somewhere where they really shouldn't have been. Who on earth is that? That's James trying to sort himself out, but who else was around? There was someone else. Lano Gamer, the reserve driver coming in, friend of Demonic Angels, and he was somewhat sat in a bit of a awkward position there, halfway between turns 9 and 10, which is less than I. Hopefully it's not put too many people off their laps, one can hope. Who have we got coming up to the line? We have got, I want to say it's Monkey Roger B. It is Monkey Roger B. He's on an out lap. So no hot laps from Monkey Roger B. Project Raw is also on an out lap, whereas Callum is coming on turn 4. Jez is here ahead of him. No, he's just behind Callum. Lano Gamer is behind them. Fastest Racer is on an in lap. LSR Wheeze is further back than the others, so it's going to be Cam. Ooh. Finns has retired from the session. I'm quite sure why Finns has retired from the session. And I think Finns has retired on track. Callum goes P2. 105.915 for VIF Callum. A driver who you may know from, or may remember, sorry, from ACC last season. He was an ACC driver last season. Make the switch up to F1 for this season, and I know why Finn has... Okay, yeah, I know why Finn's retired. Finn's retired because, of course, we have only got 15 drivers, so all drivers are going to go through to the next session, providing they set a lap time. Or don't crash. Who have we got? Project Raw, I believe, is coming around the final couple of corners now. Round turn 10, coming Project Raw. onto the power, activated DRS, comes across the line. It's going to be a 106.171 for Project Raw. Currently P3 in the Mercedes, swapping the papaya orange of the McLaren for the silver arrow Mercedes for this season. Who have we got next? That's Callum coming into the pits. I think it may be Caveman. Caveman has invalidated, so it's not going to be Caveman. Is it going to be Jamie? Where is Mr. Jamie? I think it is going to be Jamie. Mr. Leclerc coming round the final corner now. Activating that DRS, run up to the line. It's going to be a 107.136 for SFR Leclerc. It's P7 as it stands at the moment for the SFR co-owner. The one and only co-owner racing tonight, because obviously I'm on comms and unfortunately Andrew Jackson's at work. Or football, one of the two. But I know he's not around. So, there's Mr. Montoya coming around the final corner now. He's in the starter lap. Tier 2 Drivers' Champion, of course, from last season. Only the one tier for SFR though this season, for Season 7. So a lot of people maybe not having the game yet, or wanting to give it a bit of time before they get into league racing. Which of course is understandable. 16.4 for Montoya's first sector. We'll jump down to James. James is ever so slightly ahead. In fact, Caveman is even further ahead. Caveman is about to finish his lap. So watch Flying Caveman as he comes around the penultimate corner. Be sure not to invalidate that corner, and he has. He's got too close to that exit curb on the outside of turn 9. He has invalidated his lap. It would have been a 106.303, so they would have put him P6. Ooh, bless me. Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see what James can do. James is still valid at present. Comes up towards the final corner now. He has got Montoya right behind him. Literally pushing him through the corner is Montoya. Montoya gets a slipstream, gets him up into P6 with a 106.366. A 107.8 for James. We've got a yellow flag. That's someone with a bit of a spin, is that? Who was that was going slowly? That is Lano Gamer going slowly. Which is less than ideal. We have Monkey Raja B out on an outlap at the moment. Flying Caveman with 2 consecutive invalid laps. Let's see if third time lucky, or is he going to come into the pits? It looks like with the way he is committing his car, he is planning on coming into the pits. So, pit lane for the German in the Aston Martin. The Sebastian Vettel of SFR, shall we say. He is a German in an Aston Martin. Don't know whether he's in Seb's car or not, though. I'll be quite intrigued to find out whether it's actually Seb's car he's in. As Weeze goes fastest, so 105.521 at the moment for LSR Weeze. Teaming up with SFR Leclerc, that is definitely going to be a team to watch out for this season. Got Jez on an outlap. Monkey Raja B is about to start his hot lap. As we go on board with Monkey Raja B, let's go on board with him for a whole lap. Go quite wide out on that entry into turn 1. Onto the power as quickly as you can on the exit. DRS open on the run up to turn 3. Very, very hard braking zone here at about the 100-meter board. Turn it in, try and make sure that car gets turned in. You don't want to over rotate on that car. You will end up in the wall if you end up over rotating down into that death-defying Albon corner, as everyone likes to call it. No such worries for Monkey Raja B. Of course, it was Alex Albon in a Red Bull where we had the incident with Sir Lewis Hamilton. Round turn 6 now comes Monkey Raja B. No, that was 7. That's 8. Up towards the penultimate 2 corners now for Monkey Raja B. On the limit as much as he can. Still valid as he comes up to the penultimate corner. Around the final corner now. On the run up to the line comes Monkey Raja B. What's he going to set? A 107.615. Monkey Raja B. That's currently P10. 6.5 minutes left of this session at the moment, but of course, as I say, all drivers will go through here, providing they don't crash. So, believe it or not, that 117.359 for the Jets will be enough to get him through into Q2. I think Jez knows that. Doesn't want to put too much wear, too much strain on these tyres. In case he does want to go for a scrubbed run in Q2. Which is why you see Flying Caveman back out on that same set of tyres that he was on initially. Same with Lano Gamer. 6 laps on those softs for him. Of course, he is able to do that because all drivers are through into Q2 this week. So can Flying Caveman finally get a lap together? He's got Constant Ryan just behind him. He was on a hot lap. So hopefully it's not going to affect him too much. Reserve driver of Constant Ryan. Not able to commit to a full SFR season this season, unfortunately, due to work commitments. He's been able to join us for the first couple of weeks, which has always been greatly, greatly appreciated. As Constant Ryan almost did Constant Ryan things. A 105.643 there for Constant Ryan. Caveman is on. Can Caveman finally set himself a lap? Let's have a watch of Flying Caveman, of the German, coming around turn 4 now. Through 5, into 6 comes Caveman. One of the few places where you can invalidate a lap. No such worries for Caveman just yet. Through 7. Another place where you can invalidate, almost did there. Around turn 8. Couple more corners for Flying Caveman to navigate. Can he successfully navigate these last couple of corners? There is turn 9. Round into turn 10 for Flying Caveman. Run up to the line. It's going to be a valid lap now. 106.891 for Flying Caveman. That is P9 for the German. Who have we got on laps at the moment? Monkey Roger B is on a lap. He's up on his time at the moment. Just about 4 minutes left of this first qualifying session here in Austria. And Monkey Roger B is going to dive into pits. Realising he doesn't need to push too hard. He knows he's through to the next session. As is everyone, all drivers will go through into Q2 this week due to us only having 15 drivers, unfortunately. Got a yellow flag in sector 2 there. That's someone going slowly. Is that James? That is James going slowly. Something seems to have disappeared off James's car there, or he's hit something, because there's no damage to that car, so I'm not quite sure what's happened there. Hopefully that's not been jeopardising anyone's laps. Hopefully Constant Ryan wasn't on a hot lap. No, it's not. 7.8 seconds back is Constant Ryan from his fastest lap time. Fastest racer, however, is looking like he is on a hot lap. We've got a couple of cars in there. Caveman is looking to go again, as is James. Constant Ryan, however, is going to come into the pits. So we'll stick with the fastest racer. In fact, has he backed off that lap? That sounds like he may have backed off that lap. Because it sounds like he was hitting. It's weird because it sounded like he was redlining, but it's definitely not redlining because you can see on his wheel that he's not redlining. So 2 minutes left of the session. Of course, everyone knows that they are safe. So it is fastest racer going to commit to the pits. He does indeed. So Flying Caveman coming round turn 5 now. No, that's 6, sorry. Into 7. And now round 8 comes Caveman. Yellow flag, that's someone going slightly slowly. Is that James? Or is that... I think that was Jets going slowly then. Caveman comes around the final corner now. Up to the line for Flying Caveman. Doesn't improve on his time. He does indeed improve by half a second. And that is P7 for Flying Caveman as it stands. P10 for James. He is on a hot lap. The final few moments of this first qualifying session here in Spielberg for the Austrian Grand Prix. Round 2 of SFR Season 7 I think now's probably as good a time as any to let everyone know what the current standings are in SFR. For those who may have missed last week's race in Monaco. Those who did miss last week's race in Monaco, it was Constant Ryan, the reserve driver for the Mercedes team, who got the race win. Didn't get himself a fastest lap though. Fastest lap, if my memory serves me correctly, went to Finns. So it was SFR Finns with the fastest lap. Constant Ryan won the race. Fastest racer was in second. Weeze in third, and SFR Montoya fourth. VIF Callum in fifth. Finns in sixth. SFR Leclerc seventh. Jez in eighth, and Project Raw in ninth. Those were the ones who scored points. Unfortunately, Normal Jinx, Just Geordie, Flying Caveman, Maxman, and Viper Shoe all unfortunately didn't make it through the whole race. And that is going to be the end of Q1. It's fastest racer, Daniel. How you doing, buddy? Hope you are well, my friend. Appreciate the kind words, mate. Appreciate the kind words. So that is going to bring us to the end of Q1 here in Spielberg, and I'm very nice and very happy to say that no one got eliminated, because of course everyone goes through. Had I raced and not commentated, then one driver would have gone out, and I'll tell you now, it probably would have been me, because Jez will have improved on that 15.9, and I'm not faster than Lano Gamer, so it would have been me. So I made the right decision running up to the comms box. Because, yeah, I don't want to be sitting through 2 more qualifying sessions and then to try and race with no one around me. So, but it's all good. So your Q1 times. Weeze tops the timing sheets with 105.521. 10th away from Constant Ryan. Or sorry, 10th ahead, of Constant Ryan, who is in second. VIF Callum in third. Fastest racer in fourth. Good session for you so far, Daniel. P4 after Q1. Project Raw 5th, Finn 6th, Flying Caveman 7th, Montoya 8th, Demonic Angel 9th, James 10th, Leclerc down in 11th, definitely not pushing there as Jamie. Jinx in 12th, Monkey Roger B in 13th, Lano Gamer in 14th, and Jez again definitely not pushing, down in 15th place. All drivers through into Q2. So here's where we'll start seeing those drivers who are down towards the bottom of the field there, pushing just that little bit more. And you'll probably see that the times are going to be a hell of a lot closer this time round. Finns is going for pole. And according to Fastest Racer, Jamie is just washed. And apparently we're getting rain. So I say apparently, I knew that. Because I was in a party with the boys. And there is the rain. The aforementioned rain has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. So I kind of knew that was coming. Because, yeah, I may or may not have been in a party with a lot of the boys before I decided to make the last second executive decision to go and do commentary. And to give you guys an idea of how late of a decision it was for me to go and make commentary, the countdown timer for the session start was on about 4 seconds when I hit the Y button to spectate this session instead. Which is why the stream was a little bit late coming on, because I was initially logged into my own Twitch channel. So I've had to log out of my own Twitch channel, log into SFRs, and then hit go live. I do want to apologise that we don't have the stream quality up at 720 or 1080p as we would normally do for an SFR stream. It is because I'm not at home. I am elsewhere at the moment. But as you can probably work out, I have got my Xbox with me, but I'm not at home, so I don't have my own personal internet. So it was a bit touch and go to see whether we could actually get this stream going, but it seems to be surviving. Fingers crossed. We'll see. So drivers are just going to start getting a feel for how things are going in this second qualifying session, because it's maybe the first time we've had rain this season. I don't think we had rain in Monaco last week. So we shall see what everyone gets up to. I'm going to assume it looks like it's intermediates. It is intermediates. Intermediates all around for everyone now. So let's see who likes the rain more than others. Demonic Angel is going to be the first person to set a lap time. He gets a little bit slidey out of turn 1 there. There is quite a large gaggle of cars behind him, including, it looks to be Montoya, Jinx, and I want to say it's fastest racer, or is it Fins? No, it's Fins. There's Demonic Angel. We're back up to the top 2 Demonic Angels. He comes around turn 4. Very conservative run now, so you don't want to put the power down too early because you will end up in a wall. It will very, very quickly end your session. Around turn 7 now comes Demonic Angel. His lap times are going to be a lot slower than they were in that first session. Very, very surprising to see anywhere near the 105. In fact, you can see that Demonic Angel's taking the penultimate corner. His lap time is at 105, so it's going to be a significant difference from that first session. First time set by Demonic Angel, it's going to be a 15-2. Montoya comes in with a 13-8. Jinx comes in with a 15-3 and Fins with a 14-7. As Wheeze goes even faster with a 13-1 for LSR Wheeze. Okay, there's a B coming around the final corner now. I think fastest race is just ahead of him, he is. In fact, I was invalidated from fastest racer. Monkey Rider B puts himself just behind his temporary teammate for the night. And SFR Fins. Constant Ryan jumps them both. Goes into P3. Caveman comes into P8. Lano Gamer in P9 at present. Project Raw is on an outlap. Jez is on an outlap. Leclerc is still in the pits. Fastest racer coming up to turn 4. Callum coming around the final corner now. See what VIF Callum can do as he comes up to the line. He's going to put himself very much in the mix with his teammate. 13.629 for VIF Callum. There's James. James is up there. We have got Jez, Project Raw, Lano Gamer, Caveman coming up to the final couple of corners now. He's going to go to try and cross the line. Keeping an eye on the time, see if there wasn't any last second time changes. It doesn't look like it as Caveman jumps up to P7 now. Jumps ahead of Monkey Rider B and Fins as fastest racer. Puts himself up into P2. He's saying, hello gentlemen, I am here, I have arrived. Nice to meet you, my name is Daniel, and I am pretty sped. And I like wet conditions. James coming up to the line now. What can James do for his first lap? 16-1 for James. First lap on the intermediate tyres here in Q2. There's Project Raw coming up to the final couple of corners now. Is Project Raw in the Mercedes? Make sure not to invalidate. He's all good. Around the final corner now comes Project Raw. No DRS because of the wet weather conditions. P8 for Project Raw as it stands. That is a very interesting decision from SFR Fins. He has put on a set of wet tyres. Could this weather actually be wetter than we initially thought? Could the wet tyres be the optimum tyre? As Flying Caveman goes up into P6, we had a spin. And Monkey Rider B. It is Monkey Rider B going for a little bit of an excursion. Out by turn 8. Very much committing to the inside line for the entrance to the pits. And I have a funny feeling that Monkey Rider B doesn't have a front wing. And I'd be right to say, oh no, he's got a front wing. He's missing part of that wing. Maybe missing a little bit of that front wing. Lie. Jez coming up across the line, 125.6 for Jez. SFR Leclerc, the last person to set a lap time here in Q2. Just taking turn 3 now is the SFR Corona. We're now contending for the team principal of the Ferrari team for this season as well. And we have a slow-moving McLaren. That is a slow-moving SFR Montoya. I believe Alex is coming into the pit. He is indeed. See what else we've got around. Caveman is rounding the final corner now. It is going to be a slower lap though. Where is Jez? Jez is in sector 2. Jamie is approaching the end of the lap. There's Leclerc, a couple of corners left to take for the Ferrari team principal and SFR Corona. Ooh, a little bit slidey on the exit of the final corner. Run up to the line for Leclerc. P13. Excuse me. P13 for SFR Leclerc. Bit of work to do there for the SFR co-owner. You can see LSR Wheeze topping the timing sheets at the moment, so there's definitely pace in that Ferrari. I do know that Jamie doesn't have a wet setup. I think he may have potentially had to make something on the fly. Who have we got on track? Who is where? Jez is in sector 1. Land game is there, so it's going to be Caveman. He rounds the final corner now. 6 minutes and 40 seconds left in this second qualifying session here in Spielberg. Caveman does not improve on his time. 2.6 seconds slower, in fact, by the German. Spins is about to set a hot lap, and ooh, SFR Jinx, who does not have good memories of this track in wet conditions. There may or may not be a clip around on the internet of SFR Jinx's tyre going bang around the final corner of this track whilst he was in the lead of the race. And by in the lead of the race, I mean comfortably in the lead of the race. His tyre goes bang. He spins. We get the greatest line ever heard of. Oh, no! As he realises that his win has gone down the drain. I think he ended up finishing about P6 or P7, if my memory serves me correctly. But he will not like me for mentioning that. Could lightning strike twice across 2 different leagues? And I think it has got significantly wetter. Saying that, obviously the wet tyres we know are slower than those intermediates. 7 members of the SFR family currently sitting in the stream. Appreciate you guys jumping in and giving us a watch here for round 2 of SFR season 7 at a rather moist, shall we say. Invite for the rest of quali. Invite for rest of quali. Where is Jamie? We have been joined by SFR co-owner SFR Leclerc. Good evening, Jamie.
Good.
How are you, other than being outside of other than being outside of the top 10? Was it the case of a last-ditch try and throw together a wet setup, or was it playing around with a dry run?
Crashed and line out of that. Well, my first run, I had to come in, change the tyres, and as I was halfway round, there was 2 temperature up out of sector 1, and then the run just came down heavier. So
that is why we will not be seeing Mr. Leclerc in fastest Daniel in the chat. Rip Jamie's chances for pole. Indeed. Indeed, Daniel. Also, obviously, I've not really done much wet weather racing on the game. How tough are these cars in wet conditions, Joe?
Well, stupidly hard. Hard enough in the dry. Just so understeery compared to what we used to because of the new regulations, and it's just so difficult to get the power down. You've got to have the perfect tyre pressures, otherwise that all goes out the window as well. And yeah, the race is going to be fun when it goes from dry to wet.
Ah, there you go. You've heard it here first, ladies and gents. The race is starting dry and ending wet, so that's going to be an
About
interesting
half
one.
an hour in, it should start raining.
And yeah, so we're looking towards the business end of the race then, right towards the end of the race. We're going to potentially get a little bit of wet stuff fall down. That could impact on a lot of drivers' strategies. What they want to start on. I could go as far as saying we may see a few drivers start on those white-walled hard tyres.
Yeah, they are the softest of the range as well. So it's the C5, C4 and C3 tyres for Austria.
There we go. So we will see. I've got a funny feeling, as I say, I'm going to have a few drivers starting on those hard tyres. When this race gets itself underway, Monkey Roger B coming around the final corner now. Currently in P8. I don't think we're going to see many lap times change. You can see Monkey Roger B 2.5 seconds slower than his fastest lap so far. Jinx comes around the final corner as well now.
Many improvements, but we will see people going out on these tyres because expect this weather for Q3 as well. And I think that's been for everyone in Britain where say, I wish it was raining like this here.
Can confirm. That's another reason why I made the very, very late executive decision to come and do comms. And Jamie can vouch at how late of a decision it was. We were about to load into the session.
With like 3 seconds to go.
Yeah.
And I noticed someone left. I was like, someone's left, and I didn't look to the bottom. And then Kieran decided to do a blood boost to SFR and problems on it.
Ooh, that was slightly sketchy there. SFR Jinx without a front wing, almost having an incident there with Lano Gamer. Not sure what has happened to young Dom's front wing, but it's non-existent.
I thought Red Bull gives you wings. I'm not sorry.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. I thought Red Bull give you wings. Clearly, in SFR Jinx's case, they're taking them away. They're giving him a rear one, but have decided that you don't need front downforce. Get T-Pow.
Yeah, checker flag has dropped, but we shouldn't really see any improvement.
Whoa, there goes Jez! I timed that to perfection. Turned to Jez as he took turn 5 and just watched his car go whee! Speed up. You're in an Alpha Tauri, Jez, not a Ferrari.
Oi!
The spinning should be for J and LSR Wheeze, as they have got Spinotto as part of their team.
Double Williams Q3.
Jets goes for another one. It's Williams only chip. They are indeed.
Yeah.
Both the Williams cars into Q3. Fins by not. Yeah, fins by. In SFR terms, a healthy margin.
Yes.
Especially with how close some of our grids and qualifying sessions have been in recent seasons. Of course, I think towards the back end of this season, second half of the season, I think we're probably going to get a little bit closer in terms of timings for everyone.
Yeah, I hope I do, because it would have been half a year since starting the season. So I hope I found some pace by then, because I'm really struggling at the moment. And I'm not the only one, it seems. Montoya was worried about it before the race. Weeds worried about it as well. Yeah, definitely throwing up a bit of a stir this first half of the season.
Indeed. So your top 10: LSR Weeze, Fastest Racer, VIF Callum, SFR Montoya, Constant Ryan, Flying Caveman, Demonic Angel, Monkey Raja B, Project Raw, and SFR Fins. SFR Jinx, James4429. The gentleman joining me in the comms box at the moment: SFR Leclerc, Lano Gamer 12, and Jez the 5, who we lose from Q2 into Q3. The final qualifying session is about to get underway, and from what Jamie was saying, ladies and gents, it's going to be full wets again. It could be a bit of a spicy one. How heavy is this rain? That be heavy. That is...
That's red flag heavy.
That is Michael Massey's in charge. You're not going out on track. Just wanted a normal race for my first no TC race. Unfortunately, Finn, that's not the case, buddy.
Yeah, just give a shout out to VIF Callum as well. Racing from Turkey this evening.
He is racing from a hotel room in Turkey. Thank you very much, Mr. J.
Look at the puddles at turn 1.
Ooh, that's spicy. You can see just how wet this track is, ladies and gents. Let's just put telemetry on just to give you guys an idea of how little throttle input there is on Weezy's car. Now he'll finally go up to full throttle. You're doing about half of that straight.
In 6th as well.
Yeah. Half of that straight is on.
Helpful becomes in this, we will see a few different people use different gears as the session prolongs. With the track hopefully getting better, but who knows?
Well, yeah, depends on just how wet this actually is, as you can see there going from right to left to try and see if you can get a little bit more heat into those tyres. He comes around the final corner now and you can just see up onto the power as late as he dares, as soon as he dares. Doesn't want to do it too early because it will spin you around on this game. As Weeze forgets that there's a turn.
And if drivers do go straight on, you have to use that escape road to come back onto the track.
Indeed. So, Fastest Racer successfully navigates turn 1. Up the hill towards turn 3 now. The diehard fans call it turn 2. The FIA and commentators have to call it turn 3. Otherwise this wouldn't be a track. And that is very interesting. I'm wondering, that's very, very interesting because Fastest Racer got onto the power a lot earlier than LSR Weeze did, so I'm wondering whether there may be medium traction involved there for...
It could also be tyre warm-up.
It could be tyre warm-up.
Because obviously we watched Weeze on an out lap.
On an out lap, yeah, so his tyres were very, very cold. So we shall see. Daniel is going to be the first person to set a lap time here in Q3. Round the final couple of corners. Yeah, go on, Jack.
Turn 7 is deadly. That's why you saw that Alpine just squirrel trying to put the power down, and that was a little drift around turn 10, was that, Kitten?
I think it may well have been.
358. Quicker than
I quite like what Weeze's time. I quite like Weeze's time at the moment. A 1 minute 25 dead.
Yeah. 25.
As much dead as you can make it. 15-9.
Yeah. Oh, Daniel has kept it out of the wall. At turn 3.
That is what I was saying. That's how easy it is to lose your car at turn 3.
Guys, we will apologise in advance. Drivers, let us know if we know your first name and we actually call you by your first name and you don't want us to on streams. Let us know. So if we were to put if we refer as Daniel, that will be as fastest racer. Jamie would be me, and Alex would be Montoya, so on and so forth.
He's slightly ahead of Callum. So we stay on board with the Alfa Romeo team principal. Scoring there at turn 8. Into 9 comes the Monaco Angel. Rounding the final corner now, the Alfa Romeo team principal. Crossing the line, 1:16.7 for Demonic Angel. As VIF Callum dives into the pits. Flying Caveman, next person to cross the line. He is navigating turn 8 as we speak. Ethan in the chat, Finn's out at turn 1. Nice to see he has all of the faith in his teammate. As Flying Caveman comes to cross the line now, it's a 17.4 for Flying Caveman. Just behind Monkey Roger B.
Flying Caveman struggling as well then. So some quite big names, it seems, actually struggling with. And that's interesting. Fastest racer's got the intermediates on Kieran.
He has. Has the track dried up enough?
It is slowing down.
As LSR wheeze 1:15.006.
At least there's one Ferrari up there. It does seem like
3.5 tenths faster than fastest racer.
It does seem that Ferrari, this Ferrari team, SFR, are choosing to do what the actual Ferrari team have been doing, and bottling qualifying and races, it seems.
Well, we shall see. Flying Caveman coming up to the final couple of corners now. Around turn 9, don't want to get too close to that outside curve, that will invalidate you. And as known in the new game, you can beat yourself on a curb and in gravel.
In this weather as well, you're not getting out of that gravel.
Exactly. Ooh, Caveman! Ooh, Caveman!
People may ask, how do you get out of being beached? You retire. You retire from the session because that is all you can do. Yeah. The fastest racer, Kieran, is out on track on those intermediates.
He is. Let's see how he's navigating these corners.
He's about to start his lap as well.
He is.
Oh no, it's not. It's really not.
That's probably going to be a this and next as well.
We'll see. Does the countdown start? It does.
There it is. It's a red though. Track is red for fastest racer, so it is going to be an invalid lap. So it was a this and next. It was. We'll see. We'll see what the second time difference is. He is 8 tenths slow.
Yeah, that's off his best time, chat. Off of his best time.
Indeed, coming down the hill now towards turn 4. That's a very, very distant finish. Ooh, he's gone very, very deep there.
Keep it rolling, keep it rolling, keep it rolling.
Keep moving, keep moving. Try and get yourself back onto that racing line, onto that track as quickly as you can. There we go.
That was Callum.
The last person to set an up time, and that is
51.9.
The Monkey Roger B. That was Monkey Roger B. Goes up to P6. 1:16.281. See what Callum can do as he's now rounding the final couple of corners. Around the final corner now comes Callum on the run up to the line. And he's going to put himself P5. 15.488.
4 tenths.
He is indeed ahead of his teammate. So
I think it's worth giving a shout out to Fastest Racer and Callum. Come from ATC, which is a very, very different category. And That's interesting from Callum, keeping it in 7th down to turn 3. Monkey Rider B slightly up, but he won't go anywhere. Wheeze is back out on a new set of wets for him. He went onto the exhaust and thought, no, I'm going to play it safe. 2.5 minutes to go.
Monkey Roger B comes into the pits. Callum is rounding turn 6 to 7 now.
Should we do an onboard?
I think we will. Let's do an onboard with a Ferrari, and we'll let you talk through the 2 minutes left.
So, starting the lap, probably for the final time, LSRW braking just before the 100 down to 3rd gear on the power nice and early, 3 to 1, and you can hear Houston in 5th gear. Now, running through turn 2, sweeping left is a 10.5 up into 3, that's a double lock up, and the lap's gone.
Indeed.
How tricky these conditions are.
Not easy to drive in these conditions, in these cars. As we've got someone going slowly as well. Is that Demonic Angel trying to frantically warm up these tyres?
You have to be careful.
He has got people on hot laps behind him, so Tim, you may want to get a move on, bud.
Raw is one of those. He's going through turn 1.
Letting everyone pass.
3, sorry.
We've got one more car. It's going to go now. We need to make sure you keep that car moving. And that is all that hard work that Demonic Angel did to try and get those tyres up to 10. So Fins! Go on, Fins!
Could have just nabbed pole 1:14.454. SFR Fins.
Also, Ryan's about half a second up on his time as well at the moment. He's going to have to try and get a little bit more out if he is going to try and challenge for this pole position. It's 1,000th of a second. Weave is about just under 2/10 up on his time at the moment. That's Project Raw going into P4. Let's see what Weave can do. He's got a little bit of traffic ahead of him though. Is that Callum? It is Callum. Oh no, so it's Montoya, sorry. SFR Montoya. He's still half a second up. This is going to be very close. Very, very close between Weeze and Fins.
Hearing the rain has slowed.
It has.
Flying Caveman
Could be onto a winner. Weeze run up to the line now. Montoya 14-2. SFR Montoya has put it. No, he's not Fins. Fins, fastest racer. 13-6. What can Caveman do? What can Caveman do? No, he's not going to do it. It's P5. Cosmic Ryan is down on his time. And Project Raw is going to be done for this session. Fastest racer puts it on pole by about half a second.
Yeah, half a second here. Then Inter right at the end. The trick, didn't they?
It timed it to perfection. I'm wondering whether that first run he did was to tread water and see what it was like. And Project Raw has been disqualified because he didn't move his car. He's beached. Jamie's beached. He's beached himself.
That is a beach. That is P10 on the grid, I believe.
And that just proves, ladies and gentlemen, what happens if you get yourself beached on those or in those gravel traps. You cannot get your car back out of them. So you're qualifying 3 results
on that
fastest racer.
Lap.
Yeah, fantastic lap from fastest racer to put himself on pole by nearly half a second on those intermediate tyres. No, it's just under. Just under. SFR Fins joining him on the front row. SFR Montoya and Constant Ryan on that second row of the grid. Flying Caveman and LSR Wheeze on the third row. VIF Callum and Monkey Raja B on row 4. Demonic Angel and Project Raw on row 5. If Project Raw stayed there, because he was disqualified. He should still stay P10, but this is Codemasters. What time do you want to go racing, Mr. Leclerc?
We'll give everyone 6 minutes. 2100 start.
9 o'clock.
And in the Discord, fastest racer.
Knew
He's
it
enjoying
would
that,
work.
I think.
Project Raw, exactly what we said, Leclerc. Mate, I beached it in the sand. Didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes, learned very quickly that you can. That is exactly what you can do. Now, normally at this time, we would load up the light stream overlays and play the new SFR intro video. But
However,
we
this
haven't...
was a very last minute thing.
Well, it's not just that. We also haven't re-subbed to light stream, to my knowledge.
This is also true.
So, next week, hopefully, we'll have a commentary team and we'll be able to use Lightstream. But we shall see.
Yeah,
We've got about 5 minutes. And then Mr. Leclerc is going to disappear. And
I'm not, because I've had a thought. I'm going to stay in the party, but with my mic muted. And anything that happens that you miss, I will let you know. Because I'm 13th.
well, yeah, we can do it that way as well. So we've got just under 5 minutes now.
Okay.
I think it's an interesting time.
The last slot of weather is rain.
Spicy. There we go. And there are some very, very, very interesting tyre choices.
I haven't even looked at this.
If these are to be believed, there are 2 drivers starting on softs and 1 starting on hards. So close to pole. I was celebrating pole, then forgot the inters were fastest. Oh, fins. Fins.
Just 2 drivers on the soft gear, and Constant Ryan has changed to the hards now.
Ooh.
SFR Jinx has changed to softs. Demonic Angel on the hards.
Indeed. This is very, very interesting. I think this could also be mind games. I think the drivers know that we're going to be looking at this, and they know that the other drivers can also look at this. So there could be a last second change from some of these drivers.
It could be, and for the second time this season, we'll have the everyone line up on their own. And
yes,
this is the first time seeing this as a broadcaster. Fastest race at Monaco last week was, I want to say, about a metre off of where his front of the car should have been. And got a relatively poor start, but I'm going to run to the toilet and grab a drink because it is stupidly warm still. I'll back over to our main commentator.
Not a problem. Thank you, Mr. Leclerc. Go, Caveman, go! From a new name in the chat. I've not seen them before. Glowad Ray, thank you very much for jumping in. Appreciate it. If you do hear me take a few breaks, ladies and gents, it is, as Leclerc said, very warm in the UK. So it will be me reaching for a drink to try and cool myself down. 2 minutes until we go racing here in Austria in round 2 of SFR Season 7. SFR Russell on commentary, making that last second decision. Give you an idea of how, as I have somewhat mentioned it in qualifying. Yeah, I was in my car alongside SFR Jinx, and with about 3 seconds to go on the countdown before we started qualifying, I decided that you guys deserved a stream, and I would miss out on a week of racing, similarly to what my teammate did last week. SFR Jinx obviously commentated last week in Monaco for us. I am commentating this week in Austria. And we are about a minute away from the race time.
So it's a very shaped up grid, it has to be said.
It is. I think the biggest shock on that grid will, I think you'll agree yourself, down in P13.
Damn, poor. But yeah, that was a bit of a shock. Just was not in the right frame of mind in qualifying, I don't think. But people that know me well will know that I'm much better in race pace than qualifying pace.
Well, indeed, SFR Fins in the chat. This is so annoying with the last slot of rain. It could come earlier if Codemasters are Codemasters. It's a very, very good point. We are at 9 o'clock. We could
are
go racing.
going.
And it's time to go!
Where have I put my gloves?
That's not the thing you
They're
want
right
to hear.
next to me, you silly O'Connor.
I mean, I was wondering whether we were going to get a SFR Leclerc Kimi Raikkonen moment. Hey! Hey! Give it to me!
Somebody tell them to give it to me. Come on, move! James, thank you for the follow. That's on my channel, so.
And for the first time this season, I get to do my favourite thing in the world and go, oh no, my shoes! As we see what everyone's on for this session. And as I thought, Constant Ryan changes back to the mediums. SFR Jinx sticks on the softs. And Demonic Angel on the hards. So one driver on the hards, one driver on the softs, everyone else on the mediums. So that's going to be a lot of people trying to hold out for this rain. Those guys on the mediums, we'll try and hold them off for as long as they can. Predicted pit stop strategies, lap 15 to 20 for a change onto the hard tyres for those on the mediums. Of course, they are going to be hoping and praying that the rain comes in a little bit sooner than what the game is currently predicting, or they're going to have to try and manage these tyres as best as they can. Now, I do know that Mr. Leclerc is very good at managing tyre wear. Can he manage his tyre wear long enough to get himself up into the business end before the rain hits? Fastest racer.
He's now in front of me.
Oh! Fastest racer is our leader. He is now going to try and back up the pack as best as he can. And of course, unlike in previous games, the game no longer takes over your car. We are in immersive mode here in SFR, which means you must drive yourself into your grid box. Let's just hide this, just so you can see everyone making their way into their grid slots now. Let's see what the fastest racer does. Oh, and he went too far. He went just that little bit too far. And that is very interesting. SFR Fins, as you can see on that screen, has ever so slightly angled himself to the outside of the track.
Those of you wondering, I was 0.2 meters away from where I had to start.
5 red lights. It's lights out and away we go here in Austria. Fastest racer gets off to a fantastic start. Fins looks like he's bogged down a little bit there, and Montoya has been able to get the early move on SFR Fins. Wheeze is battling with Callan. Into P5 goes Wheeze. On the run up, we're going to try and see if we can get a run onto a constant ride up into turn 3. And we've got a crash. We've had a crash. We've had a big crash. Demonic Angel, Monkey Raja B, both out. And is that a safety car? We've got yellow flags across all three sectors. So we have got a safety car, ladies and gentlemen.
Those wondering what actually happened, myself on the inside at turn 2 up to 3. Demonic Angel in the middle. Monkey Rider B on the outside of Demonic Angel. 3 wide going around turn 2 into 3. Monkey Roger didn't see Demonic Angel, clipped him, and both went off into the wall. It was a manic start at the back here in the Styrian Mountains.
It was indeed. So, lap 1 safety car. This works perfectly for the guys on the mediums. Because, of course, less tyre wear, which means they can run these tyres for just that little bit longer. Which then brings them ever closer to that rain that we know is coming. It's in the last slot for the weather. So we know there is the prospect of rain throughout this race. But it is our one and only hard tyre runner out of the session now, along with Monkey Raja B, Demonic Angel and Monkey Raja B going 3 wide alongside SFR Leclerc on the run from turn 2 into turn 3. The other 2 cars unfortunately getting tangled up with one another, ending up in the wall. Cars very, very quickly end their race. Fastest race.
Be in this lap.
We shall see. Fastest racer does lead. Let's have a look at position change, just see who has moved around. Montoya and Finns have swapped places. Wheeze and Callum are up 1, Flying Caveman down 2, Project Raw up 2, James up 3, Jinx up 1, Leclerc up 2, Jez up 3, Lano Gamer up 1. Is the safety car coming in? It does not look like it.
Could be a late call. We know what Austria's like, but
it would be a very, very late call if they were to do it now. So we are going to be going for one more lap.
Jinx is pitting.
What is the Red Bull team principal up to? What is going through his head? What is he going to do? Is it mediums? Is it hards? What is the colour on the tyre for the team principal of the Red Bull team? It's another set of softs.
Okay.
It's another set of softs, and I'm just going to double check. Yeah, 2.2 second stop. There was no wing change either, so there's no damage on that.
Oh, Jez.
Uh-oh.
But it hasn't given us penalties, so...
That's not. Was it net code?
Jez, stop hitting me.
Still no penalties given. Safety car is going to come in this lap now. So SFR Jinx will catch up to the back of the field. And now, fastest racer becomes the safety car. What we'll do, I'll do a rare thing that I don't normally do. And turn telemetry on during a race so you can see when it is that fastest racer goes. Obviously in SFR you have to stay single file. You're not allowed to go side by side with another driver anymore. Similar to IRL F1 rules. When does fastest racer go? Going now out of turn 9 into turn 10. Fastest racer has gone, but Montoya has read it. Montoya reads the early move, or the late move, sorry, from fastest racer. I don't think Finns did. Finns didn't read it as well as Montoya did. You can see that there is a bit of a gap now starting to form between that McLaren and the Williams there of Montoya and Finns. Half a second lead at the moment for fastest racer. No movement really along the field just yet. And as I say that, SFR Leclerc making a move, and James losing 2 positions in very, very quick succession to SFR Leclerc and Jez. Lano Gamer is forced very, very wide there by SFR Jinx. Caught the back end of that. And we saw Lano Gamer and Jinx side by side, and then all of a sudden Lano Gamer is in a gravel. I'm going to say that Jinx was at fault for that, but we shall see. Fastest racer still leads this race, but you can see just how close Montoya is. Quarter of a second between these two. We've got a yellow flag. That is someone round. That is James Round. Out of turn 9, James has gone round in the Alfa Romeo, the sole Alfa Romeo now, following the retirement of the Demonic Angel on lap 1, which did bring out a safety car here in Spielberg. 9 members of the SFR family watching the action unfold here at the Austrian Grand Prix here in SFR Season 7. And Constant Ryan has lost a couple of places very, very quickly there as well, losing out to Callum and LSR Weeds. Weeds is going to try and send it up the inside of Callum. He can't make the move though. VIF Callum remains in P44 now. You've got Constant Ryan, ever the opportunist, just sitting behind them, waiting for that perfect moment to strike. And there's a bit of a train forming behind as well. Constant Ryan, just behind Constant Ryan, you have got Project Raw, Fly Caveman, and SFR Leclerc. Very, very close to one another at present. DRS has now been enabled for the first time in this race. You can see how close Montoya is to fastest racer. We've had our first penalty given this race. It is to Lano Gamer for multiple warnings for track limits. Is Montoya going to send it up the inside? Not yet into turn 3. He's going to hold on, get the second set of DRS. And now Montoya, is he going to look to try and line up a move on fastest racer? LSR Weeds and Callum behind are also having a battle, but this is for the lead. Montoya not close enough to make a move on fastest racer just yet. You can see just how close Montoya's teammate is to the back of Weeds. And that flashing red light, ladies and gents, means that there is not much battery in that Ferrari. 10 or 11% to be exact. And there is a yellow flag, and that's Leclerc round. SFR Leclerc is round. Not sure what's happened there to SFR Leclerc, but here comes Montoya once again. Is he going to line up the move on fastest racer now? It's not, but he's a lot closer to that Alpine now. With the DRS assistance again, he pulls to the left-hand side of the track. He's allowing fastest racer to get the inside line into turn 3, which, to be fair, you don't really want, because it is the shortest line to the corner and it doesn't give you the optimal line back out. But Montoya pulls to the right. Fastest racer coming up. He's going to try and make a move back on Montoya for the lead. Are we going to get a classic Montoya switch back? We don't need to, because Montoya's hung it round the outside of fastest racer, and he maintains the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. As there was a yellow flag there. I think that may have been for Lano Gamer running slowly. Jamie has activated his mic. Jay, Spin, what happened?
Too much curb on turn 5. Got the power a little bit too soon, spun it round, nearly ended up in the gravel. Had to make a 180. No damage to the car, so just head down now and focus for the rest of the race for this Ferrari.
Indeed. Let's see if fastest racer can try and return the favour to SFR Montoya. Of course, Montoya did make the move on the run up to this corner last time round. You can see that Montoya is just under half a second ahead of fastest racer, but with the DRS advantage now, you can see fastest racer is going to close up this gap. Not going to close it enough to be able to make a move on a McLaren driver just yet. We've got VIF Callum and Constant Ryan now having a battle. In fact, whilst we were watching that battle for the front, LSR Weeds has overtaken Fins and is now up into 3rd position. Very, very good drive from LSR Weeds so far. Coming up towards the end of lap number 8 here in Austria. SFR Russell here on commentary for you for round 2 of SFR Season 7. Montoya puts in the fastest lap of the race so far, a 1:08.320. he has put out a 1.5 second lead over fastest racer so far. White Caveman is probably the closest to making an overtake. It's just under, well, he was just under half a second. He's still just about half a second away from Project Raw. He will get that DRS, but of course he is in a massive DRS train which goes from him in P8 all the way up to fastest racer in P2. It's a very, very big DRS train from P8 up to P2 as Weave now really closing in on fastest racer. Let's move into the penultimate corner. He does not. You see how close he is to the Alpine round that final corner now. It could only be a matter of time before LSR Weave makes a move on fastest racing. He's going to wait. He's going to give fastest racer DRS for this uphill run. Here is where you're going to see Weave pull to the left-hand side. This is a bit of deja vu for fastest racer. It's exactly what happened between himself and Montoya. LSR Weave now moves himself up into second position. Fastest racer is going to come back with a DRS. He's a little bit closer to Weave than he was to Montoya. Is he going to go for the line up and move? He's going to go for the dive. He thought about the dive. Pulled out of it at the last second. Decides discretion is the best part of Valor. Doesn't want to go for that move just yet. The AF Callum is looking to hunt down the young Kiwi of Finns. Which, for those who were trying to work it out, that is what Finns' name means. Formula 1 New Zealand. For young Finns. And he's lost a little bit of time to Finns now. He's trying to bring it back now with the DRS assistance. Obviously, Finns is getting the same thing off of fastest racer. Lap 11 of 36 here in Austria. There's SFR Montoya leading the way. LSR Weaves in second. James picks up a time penalty now for multiple warnings. Montoya leads, Weaves in second. Fastest racer, the man who started on pole on those intermediate tyre, well, with that intermediate tyre lap at the end of Q3. Fantastic, fantastic lap from fastest racer. Pipped Finns. Finns thought he had it. Fastest racer had other ideas and went, no siree. This is my pole position. You're not having it. And you can see he has dropped down to P3 now as fastest racer. And it's now going to potentially be under pressure from Finns. You can see that Finns is close. Callum is just as close, if not closer, to Finns than Finns is to fastest racer. So it's Callum and fastest racer, two drivers who have come over from ACC, as Sparkler did mention a little bit earlier on during qualifying, as SFR Jinx picks up a time penalty, now third driver of this evening's festivities to pick up a race. And could it be lightning strikes for a third time for fastest racer? It is indeed, as SFR Finns does exactly what Weaves and Montoya have done to him earlier on in this race, and made that move on the run up to turn 3. That you can see fastest racer is a lot closer to Finns than he's been to the other two drivers, but not able to make the move just yet. He's got Callum just behind him as well, so he needs to be aware, and that is a yellow flag. That is Jinx. That is SFR Jinx on a go slow on the run up to turn 4.
If you want to replay, tune into SFR _ Leclerc, because he just got on the power to the city out of turn 3. Tank stuck up, rear end reasonable, shouldn't have any damage on that Red Bull. It was under a lot of pressure from myself though.
Here we go. Not see any damage to that car, we'll see. Jinx does come into the pits. He's pulled to the right hand side of the track. Normally the intention that a driver is going to come into the pits, and he is coming into the pits. So far Jinx on his way into that pit box.
Yeah, he could also be soft tyres here. Because
could
softs really don't last long.
Yeah, medium tyres for Jinx now. We've got Project Royal flying Caveman. Project Royal's going to send one up the inside of Caveman. They are still side by side on the run through turn 5 into 6. Caveman's going to get the inside line and goes. Is there a switchback though from Project Raw? This is so close from these two. Side by side through 7. Caveman just keeps himself ahead through 8. These guys are going to still battle all the way through to the end of this lap. Project Raw losing a little bit of time, but Caveman very slow out of turn 9. Looks like he had a little bit of a squirrely moment there. Pulls to the right side, back to the left. That's his one move for this lap. And VIF Callum has overtaken Finn's and fastest racer and is now up into P3. You can see Finn's just there battling with Callum. We're going to jump to this battle for the final place on the podium as it stands. Still though, Callum that leads, and Project Raw has made that move on Caveman now. So now Project Raw can try and see if he can catch up to his teammate for this evening in Constant Ryan. Second week in a row these two have teamed up in the Mercedes. Flying Caveman trying to see if he can regain that position. You can see the train forming behind Callum now. Callum, Finn's fastest racer, and Constant Ryan. All so close to one another. Is anyone going to try and make a move? We're going to watch this from Constant Ryan's on board because he's the furthest back from any of these drivers. That is a yellow flag. That is someone round. That is Project Raw. Project Raw, I think, was trying to come into the pits and has maybe taken a bit of a excursion. Into the pits comes Project Raw now. Changing off of these medium tyres. What tyres does he go on to? It's a set of hards for Project Raw. Up to things again now. Let's see if he can catch up to Callum. The gap at the front for Montoya now, 1.4 between himself and Weeze. 4.4 the gap. Callum up to Weeze. Bit of work for VIF Callum to do. You can see Callum does have a penalty as well. Well, it's an SFR. We don't show the penalties. Keep it as a surprise for you all at the end. Mr. Ryan can see how close he is to fastest racer now. Fastest racer trying to save that battery. You can see Constant Ryan has so battery available to him.
Double stack at Ferrari.
Weeze is into the pits. And here comes Leclerc. Hard tyres for Weeze. The fastest racer picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And that's a very easy double stack there for the Ferrari team. Finn has made the move on Callum, but these two are still side by side in the run down to turn 4. Finn has got the better traction and he has got the DRS. Where is Project Raw? Project Raw comes round turn 1. Leclerc is just going to beat him out. P9 for Leclerc. The 8P9 now for the Ferrari team. Of course, they have boxed everyone ahead of them, still needs to pit. Constant Ryan all over the back of that Alpine of fastest racer. Yellow flag in sector 2. That's someone round. That's Leclerc. SFR Leclerc is round and the leader has pitted. Fins has followed him. VIF Callum stays out on track. Constant Ryan has also stayed out. Caveman has stayed out. Montoya, Fins, fastest racer, Jez, all coming into the pits. Let's see what that does. Is Montoya going to beat out Weeze? He is indeed. SFR Montoya maintains that lead over LSR Weeze as Raw now picks up a 3-second time penalty as well. It's less than ideal as Lano Gamer coming into the pits. It is indeed, and James is going to follow him in. SFR Jeeps trying to hunt down Leclerc. The gap at the front, 0.8 seconds between AF Callum and Constant Ryan. I think these cars are going to come into the pits. Constant Ryan dives to the right hand side, and they are both coming into the pits now. Caveman stays out though. Flying Caveman has stayed out on track. James and Lamagoma are both on their way out now. We've got a yellow flag, and that is, I want to say, a slow moving Vince. 107.7 for LSR Weave. Where are Callum and Constant Ryan going to come back out? Callum is coming out now. Fastest Racer is coming through turn 1. Is he going to beat Constant Ryan out? I think he is. He is indeed going to beat Constant Ryan out. We have apparently lost Jez. We have lost Jez. Give me 1 second, ladies and gents. Where is Jez? Where is Mr. Jez? Jez. That is an invitation sent to Jez. And we'll be able to get Jez back in as soon as possible. There we go. Jez is now back in. Flying Caveman. Still not pitting. The end of lap 18. Start of lap 19. We're now into the second half of this race here in Austria. Flying Caveman leads the way, 6.6 seconds ahead of SFR Montoya, who has got the Ferrari of LSR Weave breathing down his neck with the DRS assistance. Weeze is going to send one up the inside of Montoya. Montoya's going to try and switch back. Weeze blocks it off fantastically there. That is LSR Weave now up into P2, but Montoya is sticking with him. Is he going to send it round the outside of the Ferrari? Oh, Montoya. Alex, you can't do that. You can't do that, Alex. That's evil. The AF Callum and Fastest Racer also having a ding-dong battle with each other. Half a second, the gap between the Alpine and the McLaren in the Alpine's favour at the moment. Of course, the DRS assistance from Callum is definitely going to help. Both of them have got penalties as well. So it is even Stevens between these two. One can assume, if you won't look at a penalties situation, Alan is trying to see if he can close this gap. So Fastest Racer, round turn 1 they both go. And Weeze has battled again with Montoya. I think that was a slight change in position there between the guys in second and third. Montoya is going to look to do it again. It's not. Weeze did do exactly what he did to Montoya last lap. But Montoya not able to send it around the outside this time. But is Callum going to send one up the inside of Fastest Racer? You can see how close these two are to one another as they come round to turn 5. A little bit of contact between the two again. A little bit of contact again between these two. As they come round 6, 7 into 8 now. The Fastest Racer is going to be ahead. And there was a slow moving car there. Flying Caveman is now into the pits. Weeze in the lead. Montoya just behind him now. Is SFR Montoya going to look to try and line up a move on LSR Weeze? Is he going to make the move now? Is he going to wait until the run to turn 4? He's not. He's going to go for it now. As Caveman goes for the soft tyre. We've got a yellow flag. That is a slow moving, I want to say Project Raw. Caveman going to come out ahead of Fids. Very, very close between those two drivers. There we go. A fantastic, magnificent pirouette. Quoted by SFR Lafayette by Project Raw. Caveman on those
breaking news. Rain 10 to 15.
10 to 15 minutes for the rain. So if you go on the basis of a lap time here, we have a quick look, if we go onto lap data, we'll see what lap times people are hitting. We'll go for fastest racer because he is up in the business end, so he has just hit a 109, so we'll go 1 minute 10 per lap. We're looking at what in the space of 6 laps, that's 7 minutes. So we're looking at what, literally at the end of this race, there could well be some rain. As fastest racer sends one up the inside of Callum, and he's going to get the DRS out of the corner for good measure. And that is someone gone round. That's Weeds going slowly. That is LSR Weeds going slowly. He's okay though.
Weeds and Montoya came together.
Ah, they did come together. So there was a little bit of contact between the two drivers there. See how close Callum is to fastest racer. He's going to try and send one up the inside into turn 9. Woo! Fastest racer backs out of that move. Callum very, very wide on the exit. It's going to open the door for fastest racer to make the move into turn 1. Flying Caveman puts in the fastest lap of the race, a 107.551. And Callum had a really, really bad exit of turn 1 there, and he's lost the position to Constant Ryan. Constant Ryan now up into P4 for the Mercedes team. He will now be able to have a run on fastest racer. Montoya trying to see if he can make a move on LSR Wees. Sticking behind the Ferrari driver for now. Biding his time. Of course, you heard it from SFR Leclerc, 10 to 15 minutes 10 to 15 minutes until the rain.
Heavy cloud over the mountains.
You can see it there, just on the left hand side of the screen. On Montoya's onboard, they can see that it is starting to get somewhat dark. You watch as Jets comes around the corner, you can see there are some dark clouds forming. You shall see how things go. As this race progresses, Wees still leads the way, 2.6 seconds, well, about 1/3 of a second back to Montoya. Here comes SFR Montoya. He's going to line up a move on LSR Wees now. He's going to send it into the corner, but he is gifted DRS to LSR Wees. So Wees is now going to come back at Montoya. As fastest racer and Constant Ryan are also side by side. Can fastest racer hold on to this P3 that is Constant Ryan's going to fight back. Who's going to get the better line into turn 4? Constant Ryan's going to go around the outside. He wants to try and hold on to position. And that is exactly what the Irishman's going to do. Constant Ryan gets himself ahead of fastest racer. And that is Constant Ryan up into P3, into that final podium place. And there is Callum, just there, watching, waiting on a mistake from one of these two drivers to try and capitalise himself. He knows he is in with a very, very good shout of a podium as it stands, as is the driver behind him, Flying Caveman, on the fastest tyre of anyone on this track. As you see Callum completely drop back then. A little weave then from Flying Caveman. That maybe have been a thank you weave from Flying Caveman. So maybe potentially been something that went on between those two that we didn't see on stream. But Callum doing the courteous thing and giving that position back to Flying Caveman. Weave is looking to try and make a move on Montoya for the lead. These two still battling with one another. These two battle for the majority of this race. Jinx now coming into the pits. Soft tyres going onto that Red Bull for SFR Jinx. You see the clouds are starting to come. It is starting to get a little bit darker overhead here in Austria. Lado Gamer picks up a 3-second time penalty, and James is going slowly. James has potentially had a moment there out of turn 9. Down in P13, sorry, is James. I think that's just James moving out of the way of other cars. But no, it's James making a move on Lano Gamer, who's also going very, very slowly here. It's Lano Gamer. Allowing cars through. Caveman up into P4 now. He's made the move on Callum and fastest racer. He's now looking to try and hunt down Constant Ryan for that podium place. Of course, Flying Caveman starting this race on those medium tyres, running in for 20 laps, 21 laps, 20 laps before coming onto these soft tyres now. There's not a lot of battery left in that Aston Martin. The gap at the front, just under half a second. Montoya from Weeze. No, Weeze from Montoya even. Ooh, bit slidey from Weeze there out of turn 10. Trying to see if he can catch up to that McLaren of Montoya. You can see how close he is from the helicopter view. We're going to go on board with LSR Weeze. Is he going to look to line up a move on Montoya now? Or is he going to wait until the second? Technically third. Or second of this lap. DRS straight. Montoya with a very, very good exit out of turn 3. Here comes Weeze, who's coming back at Montoya now. That is not the best camera angle in the world. Montoya maintains that lead though into turn 4, lap 27 of 36 here in Austria. Montoya leads. Weeze in second, Constant Ryan in third, 1.2 seconds back, 1.3 seconds back from Constant Ryan is Flying Caveman on the soft tyre. 5 minutes till rain. It's what Mark Priestley has just told SFR Leclerc. But we are looking at 3-4 laps maybe. Maybe 5 at a push. It is going to be right at last knockings when we potentially get this rain. LSR Weeze looking now to line up a move. Oh wait, that's someone tumbling down the order. That's Constant Ryan. Constant Ryan tumbling down the order there. Maybe a moment out of turn 1 for Constant Ryan. And that has enabled Flying Caveman, fastest racer, VIF Callum and SFR Fins to get ahead of him. 6/10 the gap at the front now. The closest battle we have on track is that between VIF Callum and fastest racer. We've got the yellow flag again. That is Lano Gamer and Jay. Lano Gamer taking a very, very wide line. SFR Jinx now comes into the pits. What tyres on that car? Another set of softs onto that car. Trying not to get too involved in these battles. Gonna go back up to that battle at the front again though. It's still this ongoing battle between Weeze and Montoya. The game of one-upmanship between the Ferrari and the McLaren drivers. Again, Montoya gets such a good exit out of turn 3. He's just able to pull out enough of the gap on the exit of turn 3 to enable him to still have that lead into turn 4. Weeze is only able to use that DRS to close the gap back up. Yeah, Callum getting ever closer. And that is Lano Gamer retiring from the session on the straight. And that is a safety car.
I'm counting some blessings here.
Is it still doing the mic thing? Let me see. Oh, we're still doing the mic thing. No, we are not. Good. Yeah, that's all right. I called it on Jay's mic. So. A lot of drivers are coming into the pit. Alright, apologies about that, agents. Hopefully we will be all good now. You see a lot of cars have come into the pits. The IF Callum, SFR Finns, Constant Ryan, Jez, SFR Leclerc, Project Raw, all coming into the pits. Of course, Jinx came in the lap prior. But the retirement of Lano Gamer, bringing out this safety car with only 6 laps to go. Of course, this is going to slow the field down.
Yeah, it's technically 7 laps, but that's so unfortunate for Jinx.
It is. It is very, very unfortunate for SFR Jinx. But of course, this does potentially bring the element of rain up to the forefront even more as James now comes into the pits. And of course, we were told a couple of laps ago, 3 laps ago to be exact, that there was rain in 5 minutes. Now, of course, with the safety car, the lap times are going to come down. This could very much open the door for the rain to fall. Now, of course, depending on how quickly the rain falls here in Austria, could determine whether or not these drivers are able to finish this race on these slicks, or whether they are going to have to all rush into the pits for a set of intermediate tyres and then one mad dash to the line. We shall see. We've now got Project Raw. We have got a bit of congestion in and around the drivers here. The SFR Jinx just ahead, just behind Fastest Racer, who of course is currently in P4. But Jinx is very much out of position. Drivers, if we can do what we did last season and purposely run wide to allow the lapped cars to come back through, that would be greatly appreciated. So Fastest Racer, if you can, just run wide out of one of the corners, run off track and allow Jinx to come through. And then obviously the same for the guys ahead of him. Hopefully, I have asked the guys to see if they can do it. I'm not sure whether we've still got people in the stream or not. Daniel, if you're still in the stream, buddy, you can hear me. Can you run wide out of turn 3 and allow Jinx past you, bud? He is a lapped car. So run wide out of turn 3 and allow Jinx to overtake. Unfortunately, the message isn't getting through, which is less than ideal, but safety car is going to come in this lap. SFR Montoya becomes the safety car on the hard tyres. Weeze half a second behind him on hard tyres. Flying Caveman in 3rd on the softs. Very warm soft. They're 11 lap old soft tyres. The Flying Caveman. When does Montoya go? Just thinking about it. Is he going to go when Fastest Racer did? Fastest Racer did it on the exit of turn 9. He's not. Wait till he comes out of turn 10, and now Montoya goes. Weeze has been able to catch it though, as has Caveman and Fastest Racer. Callum has not been able to catch it. But that could also potentially be because of SFR Jinx in the way. Fastest Racer now trying to make a move on Caveman. Can't make the move just yet. We're on lap 33 of 36. We have got 4 laps to go. Here comes Fastest Racer alongside Caveman. He's got a bit of traction though, has the Aston Martin. And I just heard rain from Leclerc And there is rain on the screen. Fastest racer is now going to try and have to do it around the outside of Caveman into turn 6. He's got it. Has he got it? Into 7 now. With the yellow flag, that's someone round. Is that James? That is James round. We have to very quickly dive away from that battle. The fastest racer has made that move on Flying Caveman now. And here comes Callum. The rain is starting to fall, ladies and gents. 3 laps to go in Austria. The rain is falling. How quickly does it fall though? That is the question. VIF Callum is going to look to try and make a move now on Flying Caveman into turn 3. He's going to have to try and do it around the outside of turn 3. Is he going to be able to do it? He's still there. He is still there. He's got a fantastic traction out of the corner. The tyre wear for Caveman really starting to affect him now. You can see him side by side. Caveman has got the DRS. But Callum goes deeper, is braver. He gets that position. Project Raw has made a move on Jez. They're still there side by side. Once again, these drivers are so close to one another. Fastest racer and VIF Callum are now side by side, going through into turn 7. These two are good friends from ACC as well, so they know each other well. Don't know how he's going to drive on an F1 game though. You can see the battles going on between these two drivers. And Flying Caveman's round. Caveman is round in turn 9. DRS has now been enabled for the last 3 laps, last 2 laps, sorry, of this race. Weeze picks up a time penalty! That is not what the Ferrari team principal wants to hear. LSR Weeze picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, which gives Montoya breathing room. That is a slow-moving James. There is now technically 3 seconds of breathing room between SFR Montoya and LSR Weeze, with about a lap and a half to go here in Spielberg for round 2 of SFR Season 7. We have had 2 safety cars. We have got a little bit of rain at the end of this race. I'll be honest, I don't think the rain is going to affect too much. As Montoya takes the last couple of corners on this penultimate lap of this race. Coming up to cross the line for the penultimate time. SFR Montoya now starting his final lap of this Grand Prix. Fastest racer and SFR Finn's having a battle. Finn's getting himself ahead of fastest racer. Fastest racer is going to come back at the young Kiwi though now up the hill. Weeze makes the move on Montoya. He's going to have to try and bridge a 3-second gap in the space of a lap. It is going to be a very, very big ask for the Ferrari driver to be able to do, especially with Montoya having DRS as well. Is Montoya going to go for a move on LSR Weeze? He knows he doesn't need to. He knows he can sit behind LSR Weeze and still get the top step of the podium here this evening. Fastest racer has dropped down, lost position to Constant Ryan. We're going to have to go to the front of the field though, as LSR Weeze is rounding 7 and 8 now. Coming up to the final couple of corners, LSR Weeze has had a monumental battle with SFR Montoya. Weeze is going to cross the line in first place, but he's not going to be on the top step of the podium because that honour goes to SFR Montoya, and Finns has jumped up to second. Constant Ryan third, Leclerc in fourth, Weeze fifth, Callum in sixth, fastest racer in seventh, Jez 8th, Project Raw in 9th, Cageman will cross the line in 10th, Jinx in 11th, and James 4429 in 12th. Were the cars really that close? Or did the drivers have just that many penalties? As we're watching Caveman go backwards across the line, because he can. Wasn't affecting anyone's race. Caveman was the last driver to cross the line. Driver of the day goes to SFR Leclerc from the game, and you know what? I tend to agree. Started P13, now up to P4 for SFR Leclerc. But there is your race winner for this evening. SFR Montoya. Here are your race results. SFR Montoya gets the race win here in Austria. SFR Fins in second place. Constant Ryan in third for the Mercedes team. SFR Leclerc in fourth place for the Ferrari team, with LSL Wees in fifth. VIF Callum in sixth for the McLaren team, and the Alpine of fastest racer dropping from first down to seventh place following those penalties awarded post-race. Jez in 8th place for the AlphaTauri team. Very, very good showing there for the AlphaTauri team. Principal 15th up to 8th there for Jez. 9th place for Project Raw. A gain of 1 for the Mercedes driver there. Flying Caveman. One of only 4 drivers that did a one-stop. Did the mediums on to the softs towards the end of the race. P10 for Flying Caveman. Jinx in 11th place, and James in P12 rounds out your points. Finishers, 3 DNFs this evening, unfortunately. Lano Gamer had a DNF on the straight by just after turn 1, about 3/4 of the way through this race. And then Demonic Angel and Monkey Raja B having a coming together at the start of the race. Let me see our podium into the party and see if they fancy a chat. I think Constant Ryan may have gone offline, but we shall see. We shall see. I have been joined by SFR Montoya, which is good. Don't know whether we're going to get Fins. Fins may have gone to bed. No, we are being joined by Fins, because it is early morning for Fins, but he's around, which is all good. So we have a couple of our drivers. I don't think we're going to get Constant Ryan, unfortunately. Constant Ryan, I think, has disappeared off to bed, because of course it was a very, very late decision by myself to do commentary this evening. So, virtual showroom into F1, and we will have a chat with the Williams of SFR Fins.
If Shane isn't joining, just you can do a driver of the day interview or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll work something out. So we have been joined by Mr. Fins. Fins, how did that race go for you, bud? And how frustrated were you with the rain? So, you will indeed. Finn, just double check your party audio, because your voice didn't come through for any of that first question.
And yeah, I didn't include it.
He forgot to include his audio, chat. The one thing I say to him when you join the party is make sure you've got your audio included, lads. And he forgets to include his audio. For goodness sake, Finn. He had one job. One job! For God's sake.
And that I spun on my first lap on the hards. It was pretty stupid, man.
Well, yeah. So he was saying that the safety car helped him. And I think he thought if he had one more lap, he may have been able to get closer to Montoya and potentially pushed for the win. But was happy with a penalty-free race.
It's quite fun hearing Alex and Weeze talk and working together. They're working together very well, and then they crashed into each other.
They did. There was, a little bit.
But yeah,
we have
good
got
race.
Comments from Constant Ryan, so I'm going to quickly go through Constant Ryan's comments. Oh, I thought there was no stream. I'm long gone off. Decent race. Just a shame I didn't get away at the start and got stuck behind a huge battle which was just costing us loads of time. Pretty pointless battling so early. Good race though. So Finns has disappeared and left us. So let's go and talk to Mr. Alex. Hi, Alex.
Oh, hi, Kieran.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm sweating a bit.
Well, yeah, I think anyone in the United Kingdom is sweating a bit.
True.
So, talk us through your race.
Okay. I'll try my best. The start went well. For once, I actually finally got a decent start. I managed to get the jump on the young cutie next to me. And, safety car came out after the first lap, so the whole time I was out of the bin on starting on like low fuel, just in case it was a safety car, and I decided not to, and finished the race with over like 3 laps of fuel. So it was fun. But yeah, I noticed while I was behind Faster Racer. That's his name, right? Faster Racer.
Fast.
Just call him Daniel.
Okay. Well, when I was behind Daniel, I noticed that I definitely had higher wings than him because he was not doing the best in the middle sector. So I tried lining up a move because I was as slow now down the straights, so I had to go for the move early. Built the gap out, and then Weeze decided he wanted to destroy my gap and be right up my arse for the whole race. But yeah, as Finn said, we were pretty much talking to each other, communicating, because we just wanted to build a gap together with people and then have a little scrap at the same time to keep it, entertaining for you and the fans. And then he was going to make a comment about enjoying racing someone that's on the same pace as him, but he decided to ram me up my arse and spin me out. But it wasn't that bad, I guess, because he is getting used to, no ABS. So. And then, second stint came. I was on the hards, nearly binned it. Coming out of the pits, can't lie. And then it was just maintain at least a 7/10 gap because my straight line speed was ass, kind of like the McLaren under in 2015. And then he, unfortunately, got the penalty on the second last lap, so I allowed him to go past me, try bridge the gap, but he wasn't able to get up in time. I will say as well, I was kind of on 2-1s by lap 12, so I was kind of crapping myself every time I went wide. But I didn't get penalty because I'm such a clean racer.
There we go. So yeah, how much of a relief was it when you saw that Weege had picked up that 3-second penalty?
Oh mate, I was the happiest guy ever. I can't lie. On the outside I was like, oh, that's so unlucky, mate. Unfortunate. On the inside I was like, yes, because I don't know about you, but looking at a throw behind you, catching you on the straights with literal zero effort is not the best view to have. So I definitely knew he'd probably be able to overtake me on the last lap, but I also knew that I could brake a lot later than him, so I would have probably done one of my classic dive bombs around the outside or inside, whichever one would work. I wanted to try to get a switchback on him, but I couldn't.
See, I think if you had done the switchback, would you have done your classic welcome to SFR?
Oh fuck yeah. No, I would have said it while he was in the party. Sorry for the swear, I'll add that to the jar. But
that's another bit of money for the SFR swear jar, courtesy of SFR Montoya.
just trying to help out the community. Yeah, no worries. I'll send it to you after. But
I bet.
yeah, I quite literally was prepared to say my classic line if I ever got the switchback on him, but I didn't, so I'll have to wait another race. But I will.
You will.
Get a switchback on someone and say welcome to SFR.
Yeah, so no switchbacks, but there were some very, very good moves around the outside. You seemed to like the outside line on turn 4.
Yeah, what can I say? We're kind of friends. We built up a nice little relationship. We both have respect for each other. He lets me go around the outside for free, and I don't spin around that corner for free. So it's a win-win situation. mainly for me, not the corner. Corner doesn't really get a say in it because it's corner and it's up to me. But yeah, I'm ranting now. But I very much enjoyed overtaking them around the outside. I do enjoy overtaking people around the outside all the time, but I don't get to see the line of welcome to SFR. So actually, I'm going to try and make a new line for every time I overtake someone around the outside.
Fair enough. So we have got a comment from Weiss. Apologies to Montoya, mate. It was an awesome race to battle with you. Was a fun one.
Get smoked 1-0 to me, loser.
Oh dear. So next week we go to France, La Castellet. How are you feeling about that?
Can I lie? I've done some time trial on it, and I am pretty decent around it. So I'm kind of looking forward to it, but because I'm getting used to no traction. Turn 1 is being a pain in the ass for me, and I keep on spinning. If that counts as another swear, this whole thing's
We're about 15 quid.
Well, yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. Are you racing?
I'm not sure. Depends
Okay,
on if we can get a commentator.
Well, if you are, how are you looking forward to the race, Kieran?
I don't mind France.
Questions.
Yeah, it's fine. France is a track I quite like, so we'll see. Hopefully, I will be able to come out on track with you guys and have some fun, but obviously it depends on whether we can get a commentator. So if there is anyone in the chat that does have the F122 game and would like to commentate for SFR, if they are a commentator on the F1 game and they would like to come and work alongside us here in Supreme Formula Racing as a commentator, please drop us a message on Twitch or hit us up on Twitter at SFR_RL or !Discord. Join our Discord and send either myself, SFR Russell, or SFR Leclerc a message, and we will be in touch and hopefully get you set up with all of our streaming stuff and enable you to do some comms. You know what? On the note of the man that SFR Montoya battled with for the majority of this race, I know he wasn't on the podium. He should have been on the podium though, so let's have a word with him. He's just joined us. So let's go and have a chat with LSR Weeze. But before we do that, I do want to say congratulations to SFR Montoya for tonight's race win. Well deserved. And
Thank you very much.
see if you can carry it on next week in France. But I'm sure the man who we're about to hear from now will definitely have something to say about that. Weeze, how frustrated were you when you got that time penalty?
I wasn't frustrated, I was just disappointed. Because I was having such a fun battle with Montoya the whole race. Well, second off. I lost to the end of the first stint. So. Yeah, just disappointed.
So taking the penalty out of the equation, how do you feel your race went? Was it a race? Obviously, you said you enjoyed battling with Montoya for the majority of the race. So, how did you feel the race went from your perspective?
I think it went pretty good. Like, besides the safety car at the beginning and at the end, everyone went onto the softs. But yeah, it was alright. I had really good pace, especially on the straights, and yeah, just a little collision with Montoya by accident. But that's about it.
It's hard racing. It's what you get in SFR. Competition is key here. It's the reason why it's our tagline. It's the reason why it's our motto. So you've got to get ready for that hard racing between drivers. But of course, the two drivers here, SFR Montoya and LSR Weeze, have a lot of respect for each other and are very, very clean drivers. So of course, you've got your team principal in the party as well, Weeze, being SFR Leclerc. Next week, France. How are you feeling about La Castellet as a track?
I haven't driven it on this game. I need to learn everything. Because I'm also as well not running any line or no ABS, so will be interesting. That's what I can say.
Well, indeed. Let's grab a quick word from SFR or Leclerc as well, if Jamie is around.
No, Jamie died.
So obviously it started P13. Jay, got yourself up before, obviously with the penalties, got yourself up into the business end. So I know you had a few bumps and scrapes and were basically being Ted Kravitz for us from the back of the grid for the first part of that race. Obviously, other than the starting position, how do you feel the race went for yourself?
Mixed feelings, really. Same thing with Vince happened to me on the first lap on the hard spinning out of turn 3. They're just a pain to get up the temperature, really. But just focused on trying to overtake one car at a time. Focus on catching Jez most of the race, to be honest. Once that safety car came out, it was a no-brainer to pit for softs, just to try and propel myself up the grid a bit more. Made a move on Jez straight away after that second restart into turn 3, managed to get the move done cleanly. Nearly got fastest race start and constant running, so it could have been a very different podium had I been able to do that. But yeah, P4 from the race I had, I really can't complain. It's much better than the result last week, and again some good points for Ferrari, and I believe could either lead of the constructors early on as well, so I'm not too sure. Hopefully it is, but yeah, I just want to take it one race at a time, really.
We do indeed. So, massive congratulations to our podium. We'll put our race winners car back on the screen for everyone as we wrap things up here in Austria. It was SFR Montoya that came out on top here this week in round 2 of Supreme Formula Racing Season 7. SFR will be back hopefully next week with a commentary team of some sort as we take to Le Castellet and the circuit Paul Ricard in France. We'll be live at about 8 PM UK time next Saturday if we have got a stream. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I've been SFR Russell. Thank you so much for watching Supreme Formula Racing Season 7, where competition is key. Good night.
Switchbacks.